The production function then leads into this factor product model. Whenever we're talking about the factor product model, we're going to be evaluating how one variable input affects one output. We're looking at changing only one variable input and see how that affects the amount of output that we get out. So an example of that would be, we're going to look at how much fertilizer affects the growth of, say, corn, or the yield of corn. But we're not going to evaluate how fertilizer and water combined affects the yield of corn. We're looking at just one variable. Matter of fact, we could split this up into two factor product models, and we're going to look at how fertilizer affects yield or water affects yield. But the factor product model evaluates just one variable input and how well it produces that one output. So we find that it's a relationship, and it's a relationship between one input and one output. The example that we've kind of been using was fertilizer and corn. How does fertilizer per acre, how much fertilizer per acre, which is the input, affect the corn yield per acre, which would be the output? So we're looking at just one input and one output. Then we can take this factor product model and then evaluate and determine the total product. The total product is going to be a relationship as well, and it's shown as a graph, a table, or a formula. And what the total product is, it is the relationship between the variable input and the output. And we now look at the total amount of that variable input that's being used versus the total amount of output. So for example, we might say, what is the total fertilizer per acre, and then what is the total corn yield per acre? We're looking at it on a total basis.